Hey, what's happening, guys? I have got for you today the brand new Creality Ender 3 V3 SE 3D printer. I think this is going to have a really cool feature. What I think this has is, how do I put this? A user-free setup experience. There shouldn't be any need other than telling it to go ahead and begin the bed leveling Z offset procedure, and when it is done, it will report it to you. There's no user intervention involved. Also, take a look at the box that is in compared to that box underneath of it, which is also another 3D printer. This is the smallest 3D printer box I think I have ever looked at. What's really cool is they're saying the speeds this thing is capable of, 500 meters per second. We'll bring it online, with the Elegoo Neptune 4 Pro and the Sobel SV07. Now, the difference being, this is a Marlin machine. It doesn't run Clipper. If you don't know what any of that means, don't worry about it. It just means this is one of those machines where you can just stick your SD card in it and hit print, and there you go. But the real key is they're going to sell this for $199. You know, this is a $320 printer. This is a $300 and some printer. That's less than 200 bucks. So I'm going to unpack it and bolt the gantry on and plug in the wires. You've seen me do that a number of times. There's nothing special there. I'll be back when it's put together. All right. It took me just over 10 minutes to assemble this. It was quite simple. 3 screws to secure the gantry from the bottom on each side, and then 2 screws on the top. Plug in some cables here, cable back here, and that's pretty much it for the assembly. Very nice. Now, let's take a look at some of the features and design choices they made. This is not a PEI sheet. This appears to be polycarbonate. Excuse me, but that'll be fine. What's really nice, see those little screws? I can get you in there. What those are alignment screws for the bed sheet. So when you put it in there, it aligns itself very nicely. It's well done. Now, the X-axis motor being up here is unique, but it allows us to not have to worry about things sticking off the side. Are you ready for the really unique part? Now, from the front, look at that. Look at the vertical extrusions. You know, they pretty much look like every other printer's vertical extrusions, right? Well, only from the front. Because if we come over here, you can see they are not shaped that way at all. They're in fact shaped like a T with the wheels riding in those grooves there. Is that good? Is that bad? I don't know. It's just a new design, and only time will tell. Now, the tool head here uses Creality Sprite extruder, which is a great high volume extruder. And then again, it's got this gigantic cover on it, so you're going to have trouble seeing those first layers. But with all the features this thing has, hopefully it shouldn't be a problem. So I bolted everything together. That's all I've done. Now I'm going to plug in the power. And let's power it up. We'll see what happens. Something is clicking. There we go. Let's take you over here so you can see the screen. All right, we'll peel off the screen protector, and we'll rotate our wheel down to English and click. So we have print, prepare, control, and leveling. Let's go into leveling. It says auto Z offset in progress, nozzle heating. I guess it's homing first. So far, I have to say this is very quiet. Now, it's not giving me anything regarding temperatures. The only message I have is auto Z offset in progress. And now it's moving. So we'll see what it does. It has deployed the BL Touch there, as you can see. This is incredibly quiet. That's interesting. Just reset. Sorry, I'm not saying much here, but I'm just watching, see if it does it again. Same thing. Third time's the charm. Let's see what we get. 3 touches. It didn't shut off. Now it looks like it's doing nozzle cleaning. Nope, nozzle heating is still blinking. This has a USB-C and a full-size SD card slot there on the left-hand side. Still says nozzle heating. So we'll come back when it's ready. While that nozzle is heating up, let's talk about the homing. They built the X-axis limit switch into the print head, which is nice. That means you don't have extra cables going anywhere. So it's all going through this umbilical here. The Z-axis switch, I'm not sure where it's at. Let's see if we can find it. I bet you it is using that load cell under the bed there. We'll find that out very soon. And there's a standard micro switch type of limit switch on the Y-axis hidden under the bed right now. So this thing is still heating 2 minutes later. Okay, it just now switched, as you can see, to nozzle cleaning is blinking. This is still nozzle cleaning. I could do on a purge line, but there's no filament in there, so nothing to worry about. Okay, it's lifting the Z-axis. Looks like we're gonna Level again with the BL touch sensor. This is auto Z offset. So it should now be touching the actual tip. Oh no, it's using the... Yeah, okay. What it's going to do is it's going to take a reading with the BL touch. Now it is going to touch the tip to the load cell. And the difference between those two will be the automatic Z offset. No user intervention required. And truly, that's a godsend, because setting your Z offset is probably the most difficult thing for somebody new to 3D printing to do. And it's like a lot of other things. If you have somebody with some experience who can show you, this is what you do, this is how you put the piece of paper in, this is what it should feel like, the process is quite simple. But to try and do it by yourself without anybody ever telling you is very difficult. It's going to take a lot of trial and error, but you'll get it. So this has completely removed that. The high-end bamboo, I think it's the X1 Carbon, uses a LiDAR sensor, and it prints lines across the front of the pad here, and then it reads the thickness and the width of those lines and to determine your Z offset. So this is still blinking. Nozzle auto Z offset. I don't know. Something just changed. But we'll see what happens. Alright, I just touched the bed and it's getting warm. So what's happening now is it's warmed up the bed. It's already done the nozzle. And now it is doing the bed. And then I assume it is going to go into an auto bed mesh with the BL Touch. So let me reposition the camera for that. This is the automatic bed meshing. It's using the BL Touch to map out 16 points on the plate. And it is showing us those points here on the screen as they are being mapped. I'm seeing almost a millimeter difference in some of these points. I'll show you once the process is complete. This should be the last one. It says leveling there. Okay, completed. I'll hit confirm. And that is it for leveling. All right, let's go to prepare. So we have to heat up our nozzle temperature. As soon as I figure where that's at. Now here we go. Temperature, nozzle temperature. I'll set it for 200. I'm sorry, 300. No, 200. Yeah, don't be a weirdo, Paul. So there we have 141 of 200. So once that's ready, we will install the filament. Okay, I've loaded up the filament. This is Elegoo Rapid PLA, and I'm using the Rapid PLA because this is supposedly a very quick printer. So let's see, print. Nothing there. Let's see if there's anything on the card that they shipped with it. Alright, I inserted the full-size SD card, went over here to print, and you see we have cat, which is some sort of little kitty catter there. Confirm. Alright, that's an interesting screen. Tune. But it's getting ready. So I'm going to position the camera and we'll let it roll. Alright, so let's look at some of the items that I printed. Whoops. We'll start first with the slippery kitty cat. This took 1 hour and 49 minutes to print. It is about 80 meters high, 80 millimeters high. About 35 wide, 35 deep. Yeah, it don't look bad at all. So this was on the SD card that came from Creality. So, you know, they sliced this. This is their perfect file. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to slice and print something of my own. Actually, not my own. It's the Benchy boat created by Joseph Prusa. But that's going to be our next one. Here is a Benchy that I started at 2:21 p.m. It's now like 3:03. So this thing's been printing for 42 minutes. It's pretty impressive. From a Marlin-based printer especially. Alright, here's the Benchy. This was a 40-minute Benchy. The standard Benchy on a regular Marlin printer takes hour and 40 minutes, hour and 50 minutes. So this took an hour off the standard Benchy. And for a Marlin printer, this is impressive at that speed. Yeah, the surface is not the greatest. Maybe ironing would help that, but I mean, there's no stringing. We have good visibility of the text on the bottom. I can't read that at all. You see a little Z seam there, I think. But the box looks good. The flagpole looks good. Chimney looks good. Everything looks really good. So then I went back and I downloaded this. It's called Cute Dinosaur Short Legs from Printables, and I printed it with some bronze silk PLA, which looks more gold than bronze, but it's very pretty. I've got a little line here. Other than that, this was printed at 180 millimeters per second, and it took about 2.5 hours to print. And then my final was this all-around printer test. You can see it does the overhangs here, you know, without support, so you can take a look underneath and see how well your printer's handling that. Same with the bridging here. You can see there's no support underneath of those. Then we can measure these, measure all of these. You can see some of the text didn't come off real well there. But for right out of the box, you know, that is just fantastic. I don't have anything bad to say about the quality of the things that it's printed. One last thing I wanted to point out while this is printing is that the controls you have while you're printing are great. You have tune, pause, and stop. And if we go into the tune menu, we can control the print speed, nozzle temperature, bed temperature, fan speed, and we can baby step our Z offset. And that is all with all that information it gives us down there as well. Yeah, this is just one of the best information displays I've seen on a 3D printer. We've covered a lot of printers recently. And what I've told you about a couple of them, like the Elegoo, the Cheetah, is that they're not a first printer. But this is perfect for somebody's first printer. I mean, it has everything that you would be looking for in a first printer. And that little load cell right under there makes all the difference in the world, because the most difficult thing for somebody to do without someone showing them how to do it is setting that Z offset, and this thing does it all by itself. The only complaint I have about this machine is this polycarbonate. I mean, it's metallic on one side, polycarbonate coated on the other side. Build sheet, things stick very well to it. That is just remnants of the purge line that I cannot get out of there. But if you don't like dealing with that, you can always go on Amazon or AliExpress and buy yourself a little PEI sheet. Just like that. It'll magnet itself right on there, and you'll be good to go. So I would like to thank Creality and Gear for sending this out to us free of charge for our consideration. This is the printer of 2023. The Ender 3 V3 SE. Very cool. And one last comment. If you'd like to make it a Marlin printer or a clipper printer like these two, you can easily get yourself a Creality Sonic pad for less than $150 US. Plug in a SD card over here, put in the clipper firmware, and you're good to go. A lot of interesting design choices here, like the T-shaped rails, synchronized belt for the Z-axis, all very nicely done. So guys, that's all I've got for you. If you enjoyed this, I hope you'll give me a thumbs up. Feel free to comment, share, and don't forget to subscribe. Big thanks to all the patrons. Again, big thanks to Gear and Creality. That's it. I'm out. Peace.